Now we will see what is the cash flow with respect to Intellect Digital Core. So the cash module flow is being depicted in this entire flow chart, and we will be going through it, and you can understand broadly what is the cash activities that has been made in the bank and how it has been handled in our application. So as the starting point of the flow chart, you can see the cash opening. So we are going to see in a individual branch. We are not seeing it as a bank as a whole. We are seeing it in a particular branch, how the cash has been made and how it has been handled in our application. So the start of the activity will be cash opening for that specific branch. So I will do a cash opening operation where the chief cashier or the branch manager will come and they will do this particular cash opening operation. This is just a starting point to say, yes, from now on the cash operations can happen in the branch. It is just a save point kind of stuff where you can initiate this. Once this is being done, the respective branch cashier and teller can log into the system and they can do their particular activities. Once they log in, the cashier and seller can log in, the cash will be transferred from vault for the disbursement of money. So it can be on a specific request or a day-to-day activity. Once that is being made, they will be able to do all the cash related transaction, and the cash transactions can happen, the receipts, the payments, the exchange, all those activities can happen. Once all the activities are completed, I can do a sign out. The sign out can be for two purposes. One is I want to take a break. I don't want anybody else to use my user ID in between. So I do a sign out from my system and from the application and from my system, and I go. I can come in again. I can do a login into the system, cashier sign in, and again I can continue with my transaction and I can do the activity. This is one. And I can do a sign out for the close of the day also. So it will ask whether it is closing for the day. If it is not closing for the day, then again I can go to the cashier signing. If it is for closing of the day, and if it is yes, it will check whether all transactions have been authorized, whether any pending transaction is there, whether all transactions are being authorized. It will check. If it is yes, if all transactions are authorized, it will go further. If it is no, again you will be forced to sign in and you will be doing that particular transactions that is being there. Once all the transactions are authorized, we will also see whether any unutilized cash transaction receipts or payments are being there. That is, it is not a cash withdrawal or a cash deposit. There can be a cash transaction because of any other activity like a remittance, like any other module activities. There can be a cash related activity. That cash related activity can be made, and if the cashier has not received or paid for that particular transaction, even that transactions has to be cleared. If it is cleared, it is okay. If it is not cleared, whether there are transactions pending for acknowledgement, it will check. That is the acknowledgement. So I can pay cash to from one cashier to another cashier. I can pay cash from one branch to another branch. So there can be several cash acknowledgements that are being there. So it will check all these. Once all these activities are being made and there is no pending activities, then it will go to the cash closing. So the cash closing initiation, again it will be done by the chief cashier or a senior cashier. Then it will check whether all cashiers have been closed for that particular branch, whether if there are 5 cashiers in a specific branch, and whether all the 5 cashiers have signed out, whether they have remitted back the money to the vault. All those validations will be made. Once those validations is made, the cash closing will happen. The cash closing option will be made by the branch manager or the chief cashier, and the cash closing for that particular day will happen for that particular branch. So this is what the broad flow of the cash operations in our IDC module. So, whatever flow which we had seen in the previous slide, how it has been made using the options that are available. So, that is what we have listed as cash routine operation. So, you can see here the cashier teller signing, entry of cash vault transaction. So, this is basically the cashier and teller cash related operation. We are not going to the branch manager, what the branch manager will do for cash opening and stuff. These are the cashier and teller related operations. So, the cashier or teller will sign in, entry of cash vault transactions will happen, acknowledgement of cash will be received, register the cash payments and receipts for that particular branch, exchange between cashier and teller, acknowledgement between interbranch cash remittance. So, all these are not mandatory. If a transfer is happening, then only I need to do an acknowledgement. If there is no transfer, then I don't need an acknowledgement. There can be multiple transfers from vault to that particular cashier. Then he has to accept and acknowledge cash deposit into bank. This is depositing back to the vault from the cashier during the cash closure. That is also being done. Sign out from cash transaction, initiating cash closing and close the cash for that particular day. So, this is the broad cash routine operations of the cashiers and teller. So, the initial activity of that particular branch for the cash operation will be to specify who are all going to be the cashier for this particular branch, who are all going to be the teller for this particular branch. So, I will specify the cashier and teller, who is the chief cashier, all those I will specify for that particular branch. So, this program is used to specify cashiers and tellers in a branch. A branch user once specified as a cashier or teller remains in the same capacity till change subsequently on a later date. So, once I have made as a cashier, if I am going to be changed to a different role on a later date, until that I will be able to do the cash related activities. So, that is the meaning of specifying the branch cashier and teller. So, this is the screen where you will be specifying the branch cashier or teller, the branch code, this is the effective date, user ID, whether he is going to be the teller of the branch, whether he can deal with all currencies. If he is not going to be dealing with all currencies, I can specify the currency code and I can also specify whether he can deal with that particular currency or not. So, if, say for example, if the bank is dealing with 5 different currencies, I can say teller 1 will be able to deal only with local currency. So, I can specify the local currency code and I can say he can deal only with that particular currency. Teller 2 will be able to deal with all the currencies. Then I will say select this particular option and I will say this particular cashier or teller can deal with all the currencies that is going to be there. Teller